Start with Aaron, who's in Medway. Aaron, what would you like to say?
Hello there. First time calling, so I'm a little bit nervous.
Just
wish to get my opinion across, really.
Excellent.
It's just the way you're coming across, really, to be.
Have you ever noticed how some political arguments sound incredibly confident right up until someone asks a basic question? Because that's exactly what you're about to see. What starts as a caller wanting to share his opinion quickly turns into something much bigger. This isn't just a conversation about immigration. It isn't just a debate about protests. It's a perfect example of what happens when strongly held beliefs collide with simple facts. Before we dive into the full story, comment where you're watching from, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Now, on the surface, this caller sounds calm and reasonable. He says he just wants to get his opinion across. He feels that James O'Brien is being unfair. He believes certain people are being misrepresented. And like so many callers in debates like this, he arrives sounding absolutely convinced that he has the stronger argument. But here's what makes this exchange so fascinating. The confidence is there from the very beginning. The certainty is there. The frustration is there. What isn't clear yet is whether the facts are there. And that's where things start to get interesting. Because this isn't one of those debates where people are shouting over each other. There aren't dramatic interruptions. There isn't some explosive confrontation right out of the gate. Instead, what unfolds is far more revealing. A caller steps forward to defend Tommy Robinson, defend the narrative surrounding the riots, and challenge what he sees as media bias. He clearly believes he's about to expose flaws in the mainstream argument. The problem? The moment you're asked to explain why you believe something, you need more than social media talking points. You need evidence, you need consistency, you need answers. And as you're about to see, those answers become harder and harder to find. What follows is a masterclass in how a simple question can sometimes do more damage to an argument than 100 counter-arguments ever could. So let's watch this unfold, because the deeper this conversation goes, the more uncomfortable it becomes for the person making the claims.
Bell, so you never miss a video. Now let's watch this together, and then I'll give you my thoughts at the end.
Start with Aaron, who's in Medway. Aaron, what would you like to say?
Hello there. First time calling, so I'm a little bit nervous. Wish to get my opinion across, really.
Excellent.
It's just the way you're coming across, really, to be fair.
Okay.
Like, you keep saying Tommy Robinson is inciting the violence and everything as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
But if you actually read through all his tweets and everything, he's constantly advocated for no violence, because that undermines everything. He's constantly been saying, everyone stop the violence, because it gives everyone a reason to go against it, kind of.
Why did he choose to lie about a Muslim asylum seeker if he's not trying to incite hatred of Muslim asylum seekers?
Because that was the news at the time.
No, it wasn't.
It was. It was sort of all round everywhere on.
It was on racist social media accounts. It wasn't anywhere else. And I think Nigel Farage may have contributed very deliberately to the confusion. But you chose, did you, to believe it, despite there being no evidence? I didn't. Why would you do that?
At the time, yeah.
Why do you think you did that?
I don't know, It's social media. I agree that there is a big problem with social media everywhere.
And where does Tommy Robinson do most of his work? Where does he do?
It's on X.
What?
It's on X, social media.
So that's where the big problem is?
Yeah, but
you're here to tell me he's not part of it?
Well, he hasn't told everyone to go out and loot shops and riot.
No, but he's told people that 3 little girls were murdered by a Muslim asylum seeker, and lo and behold, people are looting shops and rioting and kicking in the doors of Muslims. You don't think there's any link at all there, Aaron?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I don't think he's right in that, along with a lot of other people.
What do you think then? What do you think then?
What do I think about what exactly?
What do you think about these riots?
I think the violence is completely wrong, It undermines everything they're trying to achieve, or the point they're trying to get
What's the point they're trying to get across?
Yeah, the point we're trying to get, they're trying, we're all trying to get across.
You said we're then, didn't you? Was that just a slip of the tongue?
Yeah, because the mainstream media make people more right-wing, even though it's central.
Right. So what's the point? What's the point they're trying to get across?
Do you think it's right that we're spending £6 million a day to house illegal immigrants in hotels while our elderly are going to freeze this winter?
I think that it's a direct consequence of the Conservative Party's decision to stop processing asylum applications, between 70 to 80% of which will be passed once those applications are processed. And if you go to the Home Office website, you can see how the annual cost has risen from millions to billions as a direct consequence of what they have done, because by creating this crisis, they can whip up the kind of hatreds and prejudices that they thought would help them electorally, but of course they miscalculated on what the Reform UK Limited Party would do. And when you say illegal immigrants, you are wrong, because they can't be here illegally until their application has been processed. And as I've just told you, 70 to 80%.
You haven't even got to look in the news.
70 to 80% of the applications prove to be successful. So tell me again what point you think the people throwing smashed up gravestones at British police officers are trying to make.
Well, they're trying to make the point that, enough is enough. Like,
sorry, enough what?
Too many illegal immigrants, and we stress illegal.
Right. So why are they kicking in the doors of legal Muslims, people that were born here?
That's what I'm saying. That's completely wrong. Right. That is, you've got idiots in any group. Like last night in Birmingham, for example, where you've got Muslims out on the street. You will have wrong people in there that are threatening Sky News presenters. They didn't
threaten Sky News presenters. They swore, and therefore I watched it as well. And I'm a professional broadcaster. And if you don't immediately curtail a broadcast which contains swear words, then you'll get an Ofcom complaint upheld. But I talked at 10 o'clock. Yeah, well, slashing a tyre and attacking a police officer, they're not the same thing, are they? And yet I'd said at 10 o'clock this morning, someone will come on the show today and try to claim that these are somehow equivalent. Let's focus on the point that you think these people are making. They're making the point that there has been too much illegal immigration.
Yeah.
Okay, and you think that watching police officers get attacked, hotels get set on fire and shops get looted will make the mainstream media go, oh gosh, I think there are some people out there who think there's too much illegal immigration. But they don't know what the words illegal immigration actually mean, but they're certain that there's too much of it.
Well, every day we're seeing boats. I mean, I went fishing at Deal the other day, and you can see 3 or 4 boats come over every single day. They're not women and children. They're not fleeing anything. They're fighting middle-aged men.
How do you know they're not fleeing anything? How do you know they're not fleeing anything?
Because they're throwing their passports into the water on their way here to claim illegal asylum.
That's not how it works. That's what they used to do when they were on air. That's what they used to do when they were on aeroplanes. So how do you work out, Aaron, whether they are bona fide asylum seekers or not?
Well, you'd need to go through the proper. At the end of the day, you can't come up on a rubber dinghy.
No, answer the question. Answer the question. How do you find out? Well, talk me through what the legal routes are before you go.
The legal routes are applying properly, isn't it, through visa?
How do you do that?
You can't just rock up on.
Where do you do that? Where do you do that?
I honestly don't know because.
But you have to know, Aaron. Do you see why you have to know? Because you're on national radio expressing strong opinions which are built on nothing. Tell me how you apply. Tell me how you apply for asylum in this country.
If I was to turn up on a beach,
just tell me how you do it.
Some other country,
tell me how you do it.
That would be illegal.
Well, how do you think they got to here? They've passed through loads of countries, mate.
Illegally.
Not illegally. They are asylum seekers until their application is processed. So tell me how you apply legally.
I don't know because I'm not an asylum seeker.
But you're so certain that they're bogus. You're so certain that they're fraudulent. You're so certain that they've got loads and loads of other choices. And I ask you what those choices are, and you say...
Well, what are the statistics for the amount of illegal immigrants that have come over here this year?
I've told you that the rough average is between 70 and 80% of applications processed will be found to be valid.
That's too much,
What do you mean that's too much? That's counting. That is saying, are you a genuine refugee? And the answer, after very, very stringent testing now, as a consequence of the political environment that you're part of, the answer comes back, yes, you are a genuine refugee.
Yeah, I don't know. All I'm saying is, you're spreading misinformation.
What misinformation?
The misinformation that everyone that's against illegal immigration is just racist.
Just run me by when I said that.
Earlier, you're constantly just saying,
tell me what I said.
The fascists.
Yeah, the rioters. I'm talking about the rioters and the people that have incited them. I'm against illegal immigration. I think that when people's applications are found to not be valid, they should be removed from the country. So what's the misinformation
so you're
then?
for the Rwanda bill then?
No, those are people
Where
whose
would you send
applications were found to be valid, would have been sent to Rwanda or forced
where
to
would
stay
you
in
recommend we
Rwanda.
send these illegal immigrants? You're saying you want them out of the country. Where are we sending them?
It doesn't matter, does it? You send them back to their country of origin because they will be safe there.
Are we doing that?
Well, we'd like to, but we can't because
we're not.
because the backlog of process of applications that haven't been processed as a consequence of conservative policy designed to appease people like the rioters and shall we say their fellow travellers has caused a bottleneck that Keir Starmer now has to sort out. So everything you've told, and just before you go, tell me what I've said that's not true.
Well, saying that Tommy Robinson's inciting violence while these riots.
So why did he lie about a Muslim asylum seeker?
Not the start.
That's how the riots started, Aaron. Based on that racist lie, which he was one of the main architects of. Can I just clarify one thing?
Yep.
You were wrong about what immigration is. You were wrong about what illegal immigration is. You were wrong about incitement. You were wrong about what Tommy Robinson has and hasn't done. You were wrong about the rioters. You were wrong about my position. You were wrong about misinformation. Every single thing you've said in the last 20 minutes has been utterly unevidenced and wrong. But when we bid each other farewell, in my case, and I'm sure in yours politely, you'll still believe every single thing you believed when you rang me, won't you?
Because I see it with my own eyes, you know?
Yeah.
Like the two-tier policing.
Yeah.
You know, you can't tell me that doesn't exist and it's a myth. We all see it last night.
Right.
You know, we all see it. There was thousands, hundreds of Muslims and lots of other
How many hotels
Asians
did they set fire to?
out on the street.
How many hotels
None,
did they
but
set?
they raided pubs.
How many hotels did they set fire to? How many shops How many shops did they loot?
They raided pubs and took out white people and
Right, you are.
racially attacked them.
You saw this on social media?
Yeah.
Which you said 15 minutes ago was the biggest problem in spreading lies and misinformation.
Well, it's not a lie if it's there in front of you. You know, it's just
the tweet about the Muslim asylum seeker killing those 3 little girls. It's not a lie because it was there in front of you.
Well, no, because this is a video right there in Birmingham,
right.
And you can see Sky News was there.
I saw that video.
They had to retreat.
I saw that video. They didn't have to retreat.
Did you see the police in that video?
Okay. So no hotels set on fire, no shops looted, no police attacked, but it's two-tier policing because the people who are looting shops, the people who are setting fire to hotels, the people who are throwing bricks at the police, they're getting collared, and the people who aren't doing any of those things aren't getting collared. Therefore, there must be two-tier policing.
Well, did you see it last night? There wasn't any police on that news report.
Well, how can there be two-tier policing if there aren't any police there, Aaron? Love to the family. It's 10:38.
So
what just happened there? We witnessed an entire political ideology
It wasn't just
built on
one
anger
caller
towards
having a bad
immigrants
day.
completely disintegrating under a minute. The caller, Aaron, was absolutely certain that people arriving on boats were illegal and that there are proper ways to apply.
He was certain there were easy.
But here's where it gets even worse. James O'Brien didn't need to shout. He just asked the most devastatingly simple question. Okay, what is the legal route? Tell me. And the answer was silence, followed by the admission, I honestly don't know.
The entire argument.
And this is the problem the caller holds, and many people like this who are constantly here calling LBC. They hold incredibly strong, passionate and angry opinions on subjects that they know absolutely nothing about. And this is where we are now in the 21st century, in 2025. People are talking about things they have absolutely no idea about. Their convictions are built on nothing. It's not just callers like this as well, it's the entire business model of the hard right and the far right. They rely on a stupid audience who don't know anything and don't know any facts. Their power comes from weaponizing ignorance. He literally got a man in the White House who has proved this to us now twice. The moment you ask for evidence, the entire argument crumbles. So what do you think? What was the most interesting part of this for you? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed.
Understanding often feels harder to find than ever. People scroll through headlines. They watch short clips. They read posts that confirm what they already believe. And before long, opinions become convictions. The problem is that convictions aren't the same thing as facts. And when beliefs are built on assumptions instead of evidence, they become incredibly fragile. That's why simple questions can be so powerful, not because they're complicated, but because they force people to examine whether they actually know what they're talking about. Throughout this entire exchange, James kept bringing the conversation back to the same place: facts, evidence, and accountability. Every time the discussion drifted toward slogans or assumptions, he pulled it back to specifics. How do you know that? What's the evidence? What are the facts? And over again, the answers became harder to defend. That's the real lesson from this conversation. You don't have to agree with every political position someone holds. Healthy debate is important. Different viewpoints are important. But if you're going to make strong claims, you should be prepared to support them. Because the moment evidence enters the conversation, opinions either become stronger or they collapse. And in this case, the collapse was impossible to ignore. What stood out most to me wasn't the disagreement itself. It was how quickly certainty turned into confusion once basic questions were asked. That's a reminder that facts still matter, details still matter, and understanding an issue is far more important than simply feeling strongly about it. But now I want to hear from you. What was the most revealing moment of this exchange in your opinion? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss future content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.